Today on the Tiger Lacrosse Report, we'll review the Tigers' win over the Michigan Wolverines. Get ready, fans. The Tiger Lacrosse Report starts now. Hello again, fans. I'm your host, Ben Rosenbaum, and welcome back to the Tiger Lacrosse Report. Tigers with a 14-7 win over the visiting Michigan Wolverines this past week. And as always, I'm joined by head coach Sonia LaMonica.
Good morning.
Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Good.
So 14-7, that was what we thought was going to be the beginning of a long week for you guys because you were supposed to play Oregon on that Saturday. But the girls came out against Michigan, and they really took it to them right from the word go, essentially.
Yeah. I will say though, it took us a little bit. I think Michigan did a really good job of. They were playing tough, physical, up tempo, and I don't think that affected us defensively. But offensively, I think it took us a little bit to get into our rhythm. That was something we talked about halfway through that game, and in timeouts, and obviously post-game reflection is just. Not allowing a team to sort of take us out of that rhythm, figuring out and finding ways to find our game. I thought Michigan, they came out really hard, which we expected. We expected them to. Good. They have great athletes. I thought they were defensively, tough and took it to us a little bit, but we managed to sort of find our rhythm and start playing sort of our game and started to pull away. But I thought Michigan gave us a great game.
Olivia Conte had an outstanding game. Really, she did most of her work in the first half.
Yeah.
2 goals, 5 ground balls, 4 caused turnovers, and 6 draw controls. The goals is something we've only seen once from her before.
Yeah.
And then now it seems like she's adding that to her game. I know you and I have talked about it off camera before, that she has a little bit of a rocket for a shot, but she let it display.
I think Liv, for a lot of programs, she'd make a great midfielder, and she would for us too. But we've got great midfielders. In all honesty, I think she prefers more of the defensive role. She's made that sort of pretty obviously clear. But she is proving herself just when it comes to those 50-50 plays off of draws. She's done a great job on the circle. In that draw play, and then she was sort of a bit of an answer for us initially, as I talked about our struggles offensively, and she just kind of took it upon herself to push that transition, and that's something that we work on too. Our defenders have the green light to you go to cage if no one comes to you. I think sometimes that's a surprise as defenders coming over. People expect them to find someone to pass the ball off to, but we need everybody to be a threat and be aggressive, and she did that. So she had an outstanding game and really did it all. So, it was awesome.
A couple of milestones in this game as well. Caitlin Montalbano scores her 100th goal. Emily Gillingham scores her 90th career goal. Natalie Samonte scores in her 33rd straight game. When you see the numbers that those three have put up so far, and that Natalie has scored in 33 straight games, to know that you have that kind of firepower and consistency from Natalie, offensively, does it kind of make you rest easy at night, and that that Natalie's probably going to be there, Carly's going to be there, apparently Olivia's going to be there now too, and Emily and Caitlin as well?
I think, that's what every program works for, is to, have depth on their offense and to be able to have next person up if somebody, has a really terrific matchup and, they're having trouble in being effective in their game, that, you've got other people that can kind of step up or to step in. We talk a lot about sharing the ball, and I think we play our most beautiful lacrosse when, you see those great assisted goals, those one more passes, and that's something that, we drill a lot and we focus on. I think that's lacrosse at its best. I think we feel, really confident in where we've come over the years offensively, and it is fun to be able to have, a dynamic group And, when they're all dialed in and focused, great things happen offensively, and it's dynamic and fun lacrosse, and that's good. That's what we want.
Yeah. There was one stat that jumped out at me. At this point through the season, you're averaging 28 shots a game. Your opponents are averaging just over 28 shots a game. But shots on goal percentage, you're up to 82%, and your opponents are averaging around 60, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Offensively, obviously, that's great. You're making the goalie have to make saves. You're putting balls on the cage. And then defensively, the fact that you're able to put shooters in such a tough position where it takes some pressure off of Kylie, and then it maybe just gets on their rhythm, too, that they're not getting shots on the cage. Talk about that dynamic in that stat line.
Yeah, well, it's interesting you bring it up. There's some of our team goals, for each game. We set some sort of team benchmarks that we're looking to hit and looking to beat. And, we have noticed this year in our games so far, offensively, the scoring output, the shooting percentage has been extremely high. And I think, in fact, as a squad, we're up there in the nation. I couldn't tell you where we land exactly, but I know it's up very high. So, and that's a byproduct of the work going into practice, and the shooting and the different various drills that, is a daily thing. You got to get shooting in daily. It's fun to do too, I think, for most practices, but, and different stuff. And that's paying off. Obviously, we have some great talent who are shooting well, but they're focused, and they're really taking to heart that we've got to be efficient in our shooting. So that's been really outstanding to see. And then defensively, we obviously have those milestones and those benchmarks that we've set to hold our opponents to a certain percentage of shots. And you're right, there are going to be shots. We need to figure out where we want the shots to come from, in what capacity, and to make it as easy on our goalies as possible. So I think we're holding the rope in terms of those areas, and we want to continue to be as good as we can in those areas. I think we're in a good spot. We want to just keep getting a little better and a little better.
Yep. All right. That'll do it for us today on the Tiger Lacrosse Report. Join us next time when Coach LaMonica and I preview the Tigers games against Loyola and Coastal Carolina. For head coach Sonia LaMonica, I'm Ben Rosenbaum. Thanks for joining us, and as always, go Tigers.